What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another Slabstock Sunday episode. This is the All-Star Game edition. Tonight is the NBA All-Star Game. It's a halftime right now with a score of like 104-89. I think record pace right now for scoring. It's literally just three-point shots and layups if you're Nikola Jokic because he can't dunk. But it's been actually pretty fun to watch because as a Bucks fan. Dame is 6 for 11 for 3 and leading the entire game right now and scoring at 22. But Tyrese Halliburton hit 5 straight threes to start the game and really hasn't played a whole lot since then. So I actually think that Tyrese might win MVP if he plays a lot the second half because he's literally on fire. Like Dame is 6 for 11. Tyrese is like 6 for 7, I think. But man, it's been a fun game for myself to watch. I know that not everyone is fans of this game. Maybe Julian, one of them, maybe a hater out there on the All-Star game. I know you haven't watched anything yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I watched a ton. I haven't watched a ton of like the main game in a while, just because there's literally no defense. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's fun to see like how talented these players are, but like at the same time, it's like I'm a pretty competitive guy and I like watching competitive stuff. Now I'll watch like the dunk contest and 3-point contest and that type of stuff, but yeah, it's not my favorite. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I've always been a bigger proponent of Saturday night for the All-Star game. Like, I actually have every single type of All-Star thing that there is. You know, Home Run Derby is really fun to watch in the baseball All-Star weekend, but really Saturday night NBA All-Star game has always been my favorite All-Star events that happened. Last night's skills thing was terrible to watch. I thought the events were stupid. And sorry if I offend anyone out there if anyone really liked them, but the dunk contest was the show stolen by bad judging is what I'd say.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't think it could get any worse than D Wade robbing it that one year.
Aaron Gordon got robbed.
Yeah, where they who Derrick Jones Jr. was it?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Derrick Jones Jr.
Where the Heat player magically got like 1 point more because he gave him a 50 on one that was but yeah, last night really put it in perspective. That Mac McClung dunk was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and they gave him like a 46.
To have them hang time to drop the ball in midair, grab it again, and then still dunk it is insane. Like a lot of people hit the rim on that. Like a lot of NBA players probably hit the rim on that trying to attempt that. Mac is definitely one of the best dunk contest participants I've ever seen, next to Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon in my lifetime of watching. I still think the best dunk I've ever seen myself was Aaron Gordon, where he jumped over the mascot and was basically sitting in midair. He ended up losing that dunk competition too, so he's been robbed probably twice because he was robbed the Derrick Jones Jr. dunk when he came back to do it again. But either way,
that was the one where he was spinning on the hoverboard, right?
So the one where he's spinning on the hoverboard, he grabbed the ball in midair 360, which was also nasty.
I know what you're talking about. He's the one who went under his leg and jumped.
Yes.
Easily one of the greatest dunks I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was probably the best dunk I've ever seen done in the competition. But the timing of the hoverboard one cannot be underestimated. To time it where he's rotating, he grabs at the specific time, unreal. And yeah, I know Vince Carter had an amazing competition. I'm sure DJ Quicksilver and that generation of viewers, you know, kind of like if you're my age when I was watching Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, would be your greatest dunker ever. And I just didn't watch a dunk contest live, so I've seen all the highlights, and Vince is amazing. But, you know, for myself to watch something live like that, the LaVine and Jordan era was insane. But for the hype, man, I cannot believe Mac McClung. Like, he literally just cleared Shaq. And I understand Shaq was like kind of like leg spread, but at the same time, it's like, dude, the guy's still 7 feet tall with, you know, shimmying a little bit, you know, so like it's crazy, man. What a
and he didn't push off either. It was
he did. He did. And then I still think that Jacob Toppin got absolutely robbed to Jaylen Brown, man. That Jaylen Brown's dunks were embarrassing last night, dude.
What are you talking about? Putting on a glove that doesn't give him a 50?
No, or the one where he tried to like cover his eyes after he already landed. He was trying to redo the D Gordon, and D Gordon did that midair, you know, and dunked
he forgot there's instant replay.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. But for tonight, obviously, we've got the PWCC Weekly Auction number 109 happening. This auction is pretty brazy, as Julian likes to say. There's some insane stuff ending tonight, as always. And there's also some great budget cards as well ending tonight. But throughout tonight's episode, we're going to highlight some of our favorite rare cards in the auction. And to me, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a one-of-one. A couple of mine that I'm going to highlight are one-of-ones, but it also means other things out there that could be rare just by virtue of what the card is. So I'm really excited about tonight. I hope that you all are as well. Please let us know throughout the episode if you have any questions, if there's anything you're selling tonight you might want us to take a peek at or highlight for you. happy to do that for our Slabstock Sundays fam that's out here tonight, including Real Music, AK, SCP7, good to see you, D-Town Relics, and DJ Quicksilver. Anyone else that's here, please feel free to throw some messages in the chat, and we'll go back and forth with you all throughout the night. So, without further ado, we might just end up hopping into it here. But Julian and I, what we did is we both picked out 5 cards, and I've got one backup option in case Julian takes one of the ones I have highlighted as well. What's up, Hector? We got 5 cards that, we kind of found in this auction that we love from a rarity standpoint. And I think, nowadays in collecting, especially when you see 2023 Prism NBA that releases on Wednesday of this week, have a 63 card rainbow. Once again, that's an increase of 21% to the rainbow from last year. When you see that start to happen, it's kind of like, man, we got, everyone kind of has to start to hone in on what really matters in the market, what really matters to collectors. And that's not only from a short-term perspective, but a long-term perspective and vice versa too. So I'm very excited about this episode because I think that, always for me and probably Julian as well, it's kind of like, let's try to target rare stuff. And I think it's fun that way. And oh my gosh, Dame Lillard is insane. He just started the half with 2 more threes from like 35 feet out. But yeah, MVP's on lock for him right now. And yeah, Mo Chen says CJ Kaboom selling way more than Purdy True Gold is crazy. So if you look at this right here, this is CJ Stroud's Gold Kaboom. This is the first one that we've seen at least surface on public auction or public sale. There hasn't been one that has sold yet. This is at like $20,000, about nearly $20,000 right now at buyer's premium, which is just absolutely insane. And that is pointed out that this is currently, I don't know if I don't know how much a Purdy Gold Prism is, but this is the Gold Prism Auto, which is not as good as the non-auto, but that's, at what, $8,000, $7,500 or something like that. Julian, any thoughts on this CJ Stroud raw Kaboom at nearly 20 grand? What are your thoughts here?
I mean, it's a crazy card. If you're get the Slab Stocks newsletter, you might see a little piece written on this in the future, but in the future as in tomorrow. But
in the past, as if you read it on Saturday and I wrote about it.
True.
Past and future.
But he's a great player. One of the few Ohio State quarterbacks that have come into the league where I was like very impressed with and knew he had a ton of talent. But it's an interesting scenario because we brought it up multiple times where he doesn't have a ton of like autos because he signed with Panini, is it?
Well, he signed with Fanatics.
No, sorry. He signed with Fanatics, but he has that Panini instant card.
Yeah. That's the only Panini auto he's got.
Yeah, the only Panini auto. So like that was the highest sale at 15K. So this is gonna smash the all-time high for sure. So it's looking good for his market. Good time to sell this. And like Aaron said, the first one to pop up. So we'll see if any other pop up publicly and see how they compare to this sale. But yeah,
I was just gonna say, in the end, it's like sometimes with stuff like this, like, someday Stroud wins a Super Bowl, yada yada. If that happens, and we might see this hit 30K or 40K, whatever it might be. But a lot of times with this type of stuff, even if it's quote unquote rare with only 10 copies, it's better to capitalize on the immediate hype than find out someday that the hype is gone. If that does ever happen for Stroud, which I actually think that, CJ Stroud is for sure the real deal. I mean, a rookie season to do that type of stuff is insane. But I think it'll be very crazy to see what this actually does touch tonight. I don't have any immediate stats on comparable Gold Kaboom rookies, but Julian, if you can just like look up for me really quick, like a Joe Burrow Gold Kaboom, like what was like the rookie from 2020, like kind of like what was that selling for around his peak type of thing? Because I think it'd be interesting to compare because I do think, as you mentioned, the no autograph thing definitely plays into like any marquee non-auto of a player like Stroud or Bryce Young or Will Levis, whatever you want to say, Wembanyama as well, is going to be like, extremely sought after, more so than what it would be normally. And that's kind of obvious, but the point remains.
So highest sale was PSA 9 on December 17th, 2022, sold for $47K.
Oh my God.
Next highest, August 30th, 2023, PSA 9 did 26.
How about the most recent then?
Most recent is PSA 9 did 25, December 2nd, 2023.
So that's still pretty recent. Like even with him being injured, I think that sold after he got injured. So in the end, it's like this probably will touch 25K tonight. Like if Burrow's doing 25K, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't. I understand that Burrow's been in the Super Bowl, but remember he's had a couple pretty bad injuries now too. And Stroud is younger, and Stroud also doesn't have all the other supply that Burrow has in the market. Like Stroud won't have NTRPAs, and Burrow's got a lot of other high end options. So an interesting one to keep track of tonight. And thanks for pointing that out, Mo Chen. And AK pointed out that there's a lot of good hockey in this auction. I did give a quick brief ad over here on my laptop, and there is some really big Wayne Gretzky cards, like multiple big Gretzky rookies, including a BBG 9 that's like 20 grand. There's a essential credentials of Gretzky numbered out of 9, in-person autograph rookie auto of him, including other vintage, and then also Austin Matthews signed Young Guns as well. Just a bunch. There's a lot of really cool hockey. Tell me if there are any hockey fans out there. But why don't we just get this going right away? I'm going to give Julian first ups here to try to point out the rare card that he sees in this auction first. It's kind of like a draft. It's kind of not. We're not really treating this as a draft. But if he does pick a card, I can't choose it for the rest of mine if I did happen to have it. So you go ahead first.
Do you think you can top your last draft you did?
I mean, given that this is kind of open-ended, like sure, but I'm not trying to build like the best possible like rare one here. I'm just trying to point out ones that I think are really interesting too. So or cool to me. So we'll see. Go ahead though. Yeah, my last one wasn't too hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So you're not gonna be picking a dual shield of George Kittle and Brock Purdy.
No.
First pick. Well, I had an inside scoop, so I gotta choose this card. There is a Chris Evans 2021 Marvel Black Diamond auto out of 25, which is such a sick card. And Aaron actually showed me this one first, so I got to give him props. But huge Marvel fan. The fact that it has the inscription Avengers Assemble, which is like the go-to Captain America phrase when he's with the Avengers. Yeah, absolutely sick card. I mean, there haven't been a ton that sold. Aaron, I think you said there hasn't been a single one of this exact card that sold.
Correct. So what I was seeing was there was oh my goodness, Dame from half court. Dude, what the heck? Okay, sorry to interrupt, but Dame literally has smacked the 3 from half court just for fun with like 20 seconds left on the shot clock. So yeah, there hasn't been a single sale of this specific card. This isn't an on-card autograph. Most of the ones that do sell of this or from Black Diamond are sticker autos, and the sticker autos do like $1,000 without the inscription. I think this is probably like a $3,000 card. Let's just say like to the specific right person. And that doesn't always happen on auction. We know that the highest sales oftentimes are honestly a lot of time private sales to people who just are super looking for that thing and need to get it. But we still might see this touch 3K tonight. I haven't seen it sell.
Yeah, super, super sweet looking card. And big Marvel fan, like I said. So I can't pass this up. And I might have known that it was on Aaron's list, so I had to snag it early. But if I had the money like big money Aaron, I could like to say I would be spending it on this, but you know.
Yeah, and 3K might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I definitely think
it's
that
rare.
This is I think it's a $2,000 card at least, and I do think it can get to and will get to $2,000. So I mean, extended bidding, we're in the first 3 minutes of the first window, and by the end of this extended bidding, we've seen cards jump 5 times before an extended bidding sometimes. So it's one that has the potential to do that given the lack of sales history and availability. At any time, I think you can kind of tie in more fandom into a card like this inscription, the Avengers Assemble. It's super awesome. Now, Julian is the bigger Marvel fan than I am. I do like Marvel. I love Into the Spider-Verse specifically and the Tom Holland Spider-Verse or Spider-Man series. But I'll let Julian take it as he is the bigger Avengers and Marvel fan than myself. So good get there. And I now I need to bring in my backup, which is going to be my last pick because I definitely know you didn't put it in there, so I'm not worried about you selecting my backup. I'm going to start out with this one, and I got to go with my guy Bijan Robinson from Texas. This is a 1-of-1, and normally I'm not crazy about kind of the Panini 1-of-1, just random 1-of-1s, but these have been around for a while, even since 2018 Prism White Sparkle Basketball, where the autographs have been 1-of-1s. This is one of his best Prism cards here, as it is the only white sparkle autograph that exists. There are the non-numbered white sparkles, which I'm not crazy about because we never really know the print runs. Is it 20? Is it 40? Is it somewhere in between? I don't know. But these I do happen to like, and I love Bijan. And before, kind of around like it's probably actually like week 1 or 2, Julian's like, man, Jahmyr Gibbs better than Bijan Robinson. I was kind of calling him a loony, put him in the loony bin for that, which in the end, I will say it's much closer than I guess I'd say I thought. I'm still taking Bijan over Jahmyr Gibbs personally because I think that Bijan is in a way worse team last year with no quarterback, with a terrible coach that got fired, without a decent backup or two-headed monster like David Montgomery. So Gibbs is always fresh and stuff. And honestly, Bijan Robinson just wasn't giving the ball enough last year. So I think that the talent of Bijan puts him over Gibbs, in my opinion. I'll at least concede that Gibbs had the better season as a rookie, but I'm still taking Bijan over Gibbs on my team for the next 5 years as a running back. And I really hope that guy that they hired knows how to use him because he is one of the most talented running backs we've seen coming in the NFL. He is super, super unreal, but so is Gibbs. I love Gibbs too. Both of them were on my fantasy team last year. I'm not trying to disparage Gibbs, but Julian, you can say your piece if you need to on the Bijan Gibbs debate.
No, I'd just say I like getting the credit. I was kind of laughed out of the room when I said Gibbs. I thought Gibbs was going to have a better season. Now it's completely subjective as to like which player is more skilled because, like Aaron said, Falcons weren't like the most put together team this year with the GOAT Arthur Smith.
And then you have Desmond Ridder as well as your quarterback, and then Heineke. That's not even close to how good the Lions were as a team.
Yeah.
I think you put Robinson on the Lions, he does just as much as Gibbs, if not more than Gibbs. But
debatable, but better NFL career than Jahmyr Gibbs. So
we'll see. I mean, we'll
now,
see.
Aaron, you can buy this card. You have my blessing.
Well, okay, not at $4,000+. So I should caveat this. While I do really enjoy this card, man, I can go find a lot of other nice Bijan Robinson cards for not $4,000. So this is a sweet card in my opinion. Is it one that I buy for that? No, just because I know with Gibbs or not with Gibbs, Gibbs as well. Both of the Gibbs and Robinson are actually two of the top signers in Panini products this year. I know they'll have a lot of other cards coming out that are signed. This is not an on-card autograph, which does make me shy away a little bit, like at the $4,000 mark. But loving the tuxedo slab, I think it looks beautiful. And congrats to whoever gets this. It's an awesome card, in my opinion. So, and I agree. D-Town Relics, like $4K for a sticker auto, white sparkle pack auto is insane, but it's awesome. All right, so next up, Julian, take your pick.
I'm going with Shea, 2018, immaculate, RP at a 10.
That's a sick card. That's
absolutely sick card.
Dude, I used to stare these things down at like $600. I'm serious. I loved Shea, and I still do. For a long time, I would talk about his cards. I look at his cards. I don't have any of his cards anymore. And oh my gosh, $6,000 for this thing? That's nasty, though.
Yeah, and I can't confirm. I think you showed me a post from way back when you were talking about Shea. So I'll give you props there. But I mean, I love the design of this card. I love the patch. I mean, I love everything about it. And Shea's just an absolutely explosive player. Thunder's looking real good this season. So I'm happy for him because he's gone through a little bit on that team when they weren't so great. But I mean, you can't not choose a card like this. He's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, I love this card. It's beautiful. I actually think that the Clippers nameplate patches are really awesome when they got. I'm a big fan of the color blue. Sounds stupid, but I like that I got that blue line in there. It makes the card look better. And wow, Hector sets a 10K card easily wild. I mean, that really does go to show how good Shea is, though. I mean, the guy is actually an MVP candidate. He's scoring over 30 a game for 2 straight years. He's proving it was not a fluke last year. And what's even crazier is that this Thunder team might be on the biggest come up of any team over the next 5 seasons too at the same time. So, well, it seems like that this is an insane number because you actually used to be able to buy. I mean, literally, probably some of his best cards for $6,000. It might not be that crazy when you think about his cards, compared to some of the game's best. Like, if this is Luka, you're what, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I'm not saying that he's as good as Luka, but probably better than 10% of the price.
For sure.
Nice one. Good pick.
Thank you.
All right, next one for me. Mine. So, like, once again, I want to preface this with that I am not trying to build the best possible, most expensive collection out of these things. I'm trying to point out some of the craziest rare cards in this auction. And I'm
or
not
your
saying
favorites. Or your favorites.
Oh, my favorites. And I'm not saying that Julian did it wrong by any means, because one of mine is going to be a very cheap card. But I just think it's a really cool card for a couple reasons. The next one I want to go to, I know that Julian didn't pick this, but I got to say, has anyone ever seen a superfractor from Topps numbered out of anything other than 1 of 1 or 10? Because I found this superfractor. I don't even know who Carlito is, okay? I don't really follow WWE in the slightest. This superfractor is numbered out of 25. If you want to talk about rare, How about a superfractor number 25? This might be the only set ever made that has a superfractor that's not numbered 1 of 1 or out of 10, because they used to do, and I'll pull it up really quick, in 2008 Topps Chrome, which I think is ridiculous. The superfractors for those were numbered out of 10. I know very clearly with Jordy Nelson. I used to eye them up at sometimes. Here you go. This is an autographed superfractor. It's got a gold border and it's numbered out of 10. It's a nasty card. It actually sold for $27.50 in August of 2022. But I just think it's so wild. This is from 2006 Topps Chrome WWE Heritage. This is not a new card. Julian, have you ever seen a superfractor out 25?
I gotta say that feels illegal. Just feels real looking at it. And is he choking out John Cena in that?
I actually think he is, which might make this card even better. It might make this card even better. It's got to be John Cena.
I think it is.
That's awesome.
But Aaron, you got to get hair like that.
No, I think that you're the one at the candidate that can get hair like that.
I would take a little bit, but yeah, that's a look. But out of 25 superfractor, that's hilarious that you found that.
Yeah, so that was kind of my fun thing there, was that you just never see that. You really never see it.
Look this guy up.
Rare of the rare, but yeah, he does have some sweet hair. He is doing a little half Nelson or whatever you want to call it on John Cena. I don't even know if that's a term, but pretty funny. Hector says, was able to drop off 20 cards at PWCC at Burbank. So easy to do. Nice guys. And yeah, definitely great people at PWCC. And if anyone had any Burbank experiences that they want to throw in the chat, please feel free. We did not make it out this show, but we were at the last one. But let us know it was a good show. I think that it went through today. But I know it's been going since about Thursday or so. So let me know if there's any experiences you want to throw in the chat that what you liked about it, maybe what you did if you didn't like something or whatever it might be. I just feel free to drop some comments. Julian, any updates here?
On what?
I thought you were going to let us know some information on Carlito.
Oh, I mean, I looked him up. I didn't see anything like too special. But
okay.
So
all right, go ahead. What do you got next?
Okay, next up. What to pick? I will go with my boy Christian McCaffrey, gold kaboom. Absolutely sick card. I need to get me a kaboom of McCaffrey in a Niners jersey, but the gold just hit different. And we were just talking about
that's not that expensive.
Yeah, we were talking about CJ Stroud and best running back in the game. Absolutely terrific season, offensive player of the year. I mean, the card is just super sick and super rare. I didn't even look about any sales, but I could probably look right now.
That is nasty, man.
But yeah, I love that card.
You got any sales you want to share? Or are you still looking? Or is there none? But yeah, I do like. I'm not crazy on like a lot of the newer made Panini inserts, but they have kept Kaboom since 2013. Innovation Basketball was the first appearance for that. And on top of that, they really haven't like watered down the parallels. I know that they have the gold out of 10 that they're putting into most sets now for most sports, but they've had those in the past with the Panini rewards packs and then the green 1 of 1. But we're not seeing like an orange 25 and stuff, random stuff like that.
There's a horizontal from the same set that went for $3K. February.
So now that I will say that I'm not a crazy fan of. I did see they had CJ Stroud horizontal as well. I'm not a huge supporter of putting in another extra, variation of the Kaboom for each player. I wish there's just one for each set, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Ed is McCaffrey's dad, and I think that his
family.
I think that his brother plays. His brother was quarterback for Michigan for a little bit.
And then he went to like Northern Colorado and his career kind of spiraled down.
And then his other brother, Max, was a wide receiver for a little bit. Looks like with the Packers.
And then he has a younger brother who's in high school getting recruited.
Yeah, Luke. Yeah, there's a bunch of football players in that family.
The genetics go crazy.
It looks like that he plays at Rice. Wide receiver, the quarterback mentality. Or he's... Yeah. Oh, he was at Nebraska, and now he transferred to Rice, I think, or something like that. I think that's the youngest brother. But yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, soon there will not be any more licensed Kabooms. I will say it. I do think that Kabooms of certain players that don't have a lot out there will actually stand the test of time quite well. If you're talking about which Panini cards actually will kind of make it. Why did I type in Christian Wentz? Will make it past them losing their licenses. I mean, even just experienced by like this right here. This is literally Carson Wentz. Okay, Carson Wentz did like one thing in his career and then got hurt and then never did anything again. And it's like a $300+ card. Not many Andrew Luck cards even sell for this much. Andrew Luck marquee rookie cards sell for this much. And I think Andrew Luck did way more in his career than Carson Wentz did. So like this is kind of crazy to me, but I think it does kind of go to show that collectors will value these things as almost like 2012 Prism Golds, where you can find the most random of players selling for a lot of money because there's set builders out there for that type of stuff. And the gold kabooms could last through, the losing the licenses and still be sought after in the end.
Definitely.
All right, I'm up next.
You're up next.
You gotta go with the leading vote getter himself in the All-Star game, Giannis Antetokounmpo, hometown hero here, and it's not one of his rookie autographs. It's not even a sweet gold optic. It's his 1/1 platinum Noir PSA 10. Now, I am not crazy about caring about the grade for 1/1s, and Julian knows that, and other people know that. I am very much so that the grade doesn't really matter a whole lot unless it gets like a 2. Then I'm like, I don't really want my card folded in half and pay a ton of money for it. So, but the point here is that this is from Noir, which is a traditionally very hard to grade set. And I did some research on the population of this set that got graded by PSA. And this 1/1 as a PSA 10, it's the only 1/1 PSA 10 of the entire set from 2019 Noir specifically. It's the only 1/1 that got a 10. All the others got 8s, 9s, 7s, whatever. And there's only 54 10s out of the entire 2019 Noir set that have been graded of 720 total cards. That's a 8% gem rate on this set. It's very, 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 very difficult to get 10s from any company on Noir cards. The chipping and everything like that, that's just kind of what it lends to because it's a black border set and packed out. These cards rattle around. They rattle around manufacturing. They get damaged, this and that. I really actually think that in this scenario, it should matter because it should matter for any card in the set that can pull a 10 out of this set. And I think it does increase the value. Normally, I'm not much of the grade increases value on 1/1s because how would we? I mean, unless you can specifically see a raw sale and then a grade sale, I guess you could. But I think for this, it matters a lot. And obviously, Giannis is my favorite NBA player. And I love the card too. One I like to own. Would I drop over $500 on it? I won't, but it is a sweet card.
I gotta say that card is super sweet looking, but I kind of wish they didn't have the white at the bottom.
I agree. It does take
so much better with just like all black.
Yeah, it takes away from a little bit, and I wish that there was also one of them videos for this card because I think that the logo would shine a lot more on the flat scan. It just kind of all just looks like blue platinum, but it is a very awesome looking card, and Noir is my favorite basketball set. And it's actually my favorite Panini set ever made. I love this set, and I am waiting for the day that will probably be in 2 years, considering how long it takes for some sets to get made. But for a Damian Lillard sneaker spotlight or spotlight signatures Bucks card to get produced, because I need a Dame in my PC. I don't think I'm willing to drop like $1,000 on a Damian Lillard card in a Trailblazers jersey because there's one I actually really like in this auction, but I'm just like, man, is it really that special to me if it's not a Bucks jersey? And I'd say no. Really cool Eminence patch auto in here from 2019, but I wouldn't want to spend like $800 on that.
You can just crop out a jersey and put it on the case. So then, like, when you look at it, it's Bucks.
Exactly. That's pretty funny. What's up, Cody? Good to see you. Good to see you over here on our Slapstick Sundays episode. All right, man. What's up next for you?
Am I up next? What did you just?
I just did the.
Oh, Giannis. You did the Giannis. Okay.
That was my third one.
We'll go with. There's the Kobe Bryant Eminence 2017.
Ooh.
Absolutely sick card. Love me some Kobe cards, but just the color combination on this card is so sick. I love how they like changed the color even of him, but then like his jersey part of it is like just pops. Yeah, super clean, super simple, but yeah, I absolutely love the way this card looks, and it's obviously a very, very rare card.
I think it's awesome given that it highlights the 2008 gold medal he won. I'm assuming obviously with the U.S. Olympic team. I think that this was the Redeem team too, which makes it a little bit more special. And then you got the gold highlighted Lakers in 24 on it. It is
Gold
pretty
auto
sweet.
too.
Yeah, and they actually released this set. Julian has a eminence specific Kobe set where I'm pretty sure every single card pulled out of the set was Kobe.
Yeah.
Specifically, which makes it, kind of a one of a kind. Not this exact card, but just the set itself, which I think it puts it as kind of like an iconic set of all time. I like it a lot. Sweet card, good choice.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, my last two here. I'm not going to do them back to back, but I'm going to go with this one. This one I saw really buried deep down at the bottom of the auction. I actually think
You
this
did
is
your research.
I did. I think this is an absolute steal. I'm not gonna be one to go after it just because John Wooden doesn't mean a whole lot to me personally as a basketball fan because I'm young, but I think there's a lot of people out there that would really well, in Julian's book, I guess I'm really old, but so I guess it's the eye of the beholder. I think a lot of people would value this card highly. This is a red ink autograph here from 2006 Press Pass. On card autograph of John Wooden, one of the greatest coaches of all time for any sport. How many national championships did he win? Something like 10, which is just insane to think about. 10. Okay, 10 exactly. 10 in a 12-year period, 7 in a row. That is just insane. I mean, no other team has won more than 4 in a row in women's or men's college history. He won 7 in a row and 10 overall. That's one of the greatest championship winning coaches of all time ever. Just up there with Sir Alex Ferguson. And this card, I looked it up. The red ink version of this publicly has sold once back in like 2008 for like $54. But that's back in 2008. I would say if anyone has the dollars and values John Wooden personally, this is a no-brainer at anything $200 or under, even $250 and under. I think this card is so insanely cool. To have a signature like of a all-time great like that, and that's not just in basketball. Just an absolutely amazing card, and unfortunately he did pass away in 2010 at 99 years old, but what a great long life that is. And I don't know, man, I really think that this card is special, and I'm shocked it's at $86, but that's just me. And this actually might be my favorite card on the list too, by the way. I just think that there's like something so cool about some of these like legends like this that don't sign a whole lot, haven't signed a whole lot, and can't sign anymore.
Your music wants those giveaway.
I think it's going to go for around $200 or more. I think it should go for around $200 or more too. We'll see if it does, but it's an awesome card.
Okay.
Julian's feeling like he's outmatched right now. I see.
Well, you went real deep with these. I feel like I should have found some cards in the $50 range.
No, you're all good. You're all good, man.
Let's see. Okay, I think I have to say this one because of its connection to Aaron. Mason Mount, 2019, Red Sapphire, Manchester United Red.
I was extremely close to putting this on my list. I was very close to putting this on my list. Go ahead.
I mean, Aaron in particular knows how rare this is because he had, if nobody knows, I'd say he's still a big Mason Mount fan. We'll get him a Manchester United jersey.
Well, the problem is that he hasn't played all, so I can't even watch him play. Really, I mean, he's played like 5 games.
Yeah, and when he was on Chelsea, Aaron was a huge fan. He was his favorite player, and he was collecting the rainbow. And this was the one card he didn't have because it never popped up. And
now I did get to it, but the person that had it would not sell it to me for an offer I put out there that was much higher than this. What?
Ludicrous.
Yeah, way higher than this.
Yeah, and so that just goes to show how rare it is. I love the red. Manchester United red, like I said. I'm excited for him to come back, but yeah, his cards obviously have tanked quite a lot just because he hasn't played in a really long time, and he left Chelsea. So hopefully he can turn it around. And I think most people are rooting for him because he's a great guy. But yeah, super sweet card, but I'm not going to be showing out this much money. Maybe Aaron will.
No, I won't either. I mean, very, very, very rare card, and I can attest to that. It never popped up on auction when I was looking, and there was one listed for 10K or best offer a long time ago, and then I think it might have been the one I was trying to get, which also might not be this one because it was a PSA 10. But at this moment, I mean, yeah, he's not in Chelsea, and I still root for Mount when he plays. Unfortunately, I haven't seen him play much at all. I mean, you haven't either. So we'll see if high price paid for him pans out for United, or if it is a great Chelsea sale. Either way, I don't think it's ever going to work out with all the changes in leadership and everything at Chelsea. It just kind of seemed like it's time for this team to completely retool, other than Reece James and Thiago Silva, which I think both could be out the door in the next year now. So really just a complete facelift at Chelsea. So it is what it is. I had some amazing times watching him. Also had some amazing, not great times watching him when he missed a wide open net, a one-on-one, I should say, against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, and that penalty in the FA Cup final. So, that's love-hate relationship. But at the same time, it was a great time. The couple of years I really spent following him and watching him at Chelsea. But great card, Julian, and it was one that I considered putting on my list just because I knew how rare this was, firsthand experience. But all right, so was that your last one?
Yeah.
Hey, before we move on, let's bring this up quick. Tambo says, take Tuchel back, please. And for anyone that hasn't seen, Bayern Munich has lost 3 straight Bundesliga matches, which I don't know the last time that's happened. If it has happened in the last, 10 years, has it happened in that time?
I can't remember. I can't remember the last time that they were trailing this much in the Bundesliga.
I mean, they're 8 points behind right now, I think, is what it is.
Which is, it's kind of feel good because, I didn't really want Bayern to win because of how well Leverkusen's doing, and it's a crazy story. But yeah, it's tough for a club of that magnitude with such great history. But they bit off way too much with the amount of coaches changes the past few years.
That's what, three in the last 4 years or something like that, from Flick to Nagelsmann to Tuchel.
Now I want to say, for any Chelsea fans trying to feel good about themselves because he's doing bad at Bayern, I think it was one of the biggest mistakes for them to let go of him because he was doing so well at that club. I don't think how it's going at Bayern is completely on him. I think it's also he was thrust into a situation, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with a club like Bayern. Now a lot of the blame does kind of fall on him, but yeah, he should have stayed at Chelsea, and I think they could have done great things. But
I have to say, the only thing I point out is that, while maybe it wasn't worth firing him, and I love Tuchel, he was actually other than Mount, he was my favorite kind of soccer person I followed. He was so much fun to watch in interviews. His energy on the bench was so much fun. I just loved soccer and Chelsea because of him mostly too. And I was very sad to see him go. At the same time, though, his last 6 months in charge, it was a lot of this, what Tambo commented, low shots on goal. We had no attack towards the end of his time there, which only got worse when he left. So I'm not saying that he was deserved to be fired, because I think that there was a lot of problems going on. Weren't recruiting the right players, signing Sterling and Kukurea and Aubameyang. I don't know if that's Tuchel's doing or the ownership's doing, whatever it was, it didn't work at all. And just kind of all fell apart because of that. But he did have a lot of very low shots on goal, defensive games. And in the end, it's if you can't score and you kind of have some defensive lapses, you get exposed really fast. And I think that's what's happening right now, which is crazy because Harry Kane is on Bayern Munich now. I think that's the number one kind of X factor here. It's you have one of the best forwards of the last decade, and you're not scoring goals.
Yeah. I would say, though, one of my biggest pet peeves is straight going, it's only the coach's fault, because if you watch Bayern, some of the defending is horrific. I don't understand how at that level you can make mistakes like that, and it's not his fault. What are you supposed to do? Coach defending at that level? But and the blame always naturally falls on the coach. So it's rough, and I think I don't know what they're going to do, because it's a bad look either way for the club, because if they get another coach, it's just going to increase the turmoil. But if they keep him, I'm sure the fans aren't going to be happy. So
it's a Chelsea situation with the Bundesliga, 8 points behind the lead for Bayern is kind of the same deal with maybe Chelsea's situation's worse, obviously being mid-table. But I'm just saying, the relative feeling in the club is the same, where it's you're severely underperforming, and you say, you point to the coach. Now I will say, and we'll move on here in a second, everyone. I know we've kind of went on this for a little bit, but being Harry Kane, who hasn't won a trophy in his career, the one sure place you can go to win a trophy is Bayern Munich, because you've won 10 straight, 11 straight league titles, whatever it's been, and can win in those German Cups and can compete in the Champions League. And literally, there's a good chance that they won't win a trophy this year when he goes there. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
really
You
crazy.
gotta go see like an African shaman or something to like get all the bad juju out of him because there's something he's cursed.
I know, man. It's really wild. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my last card here, which this card is now selling for way more than it has when in his time with Milwaukee. I'm sure, other than maybe the Cy Young year. But Corbin Burns 2016 Bowman Draft Orange First Refractor PSA 9. Now I want to bring this up specifically because it has sold a few times in the last like year, so it's not like that we haven't seen this card sell. But he did not have autographs in 2016 for his first Bowman. He did not have autographs in 2017, the year after his first Bowman, and he finally got them in the 2018 Bowman cycle. So it took 3 full cycles until he finally got an autograph card, which in my opinion should always make these actual first logo cards, because he doesn't have a first on his auto. These actual first logo cards should be way more valuable than they seem to be when they don't get an autograph for a while. I think this is a steal for someone who wants to bank on the Orioles being one of the best teams in the MLB once again, but you add in a previous Cy Young winner into that rotation, which was the weakest link on the team. I, for one, will be cheering for the Orioles all year. I will be cheering for Corbin Burns all year, other than when the Brewers, if we do play them at all throughout the year. I loved Corbin, and I am kind of sad he got traded. At the same time, I do recognize that as a small market team, we can't spend $35 million on a starting pitcher per year. It just does not work. It does not happen, and it will not happen as long as we have an owner who doesn't want to shell out that big of a contract, which I can't really blame him, honestly. Ever since the Cy Young, he's actually hasn't been as good too. Kind of shaky in the postseason. A lot of 6-7 earned run starts this past year, which is maybe uncharacteristic, maybe also just pressures getting to him with his contract year coming up. We'll see if he has a massive year. Players rise to the occasion when it's time to get paid. As we know, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I do expect him to have a monster year. I actually think he'll contend for AL Cy Young and want him to win it. I've got a couple cards left over that I wouldn't mind selling too into his, maybe second Cy Young performance. So will be fun to watch him this year, but I just think that this card in general is a great card. And when they don't have those autographs on their first Bowmans, you should try to get them if you can, because I do think they're generally undervalued. And that's not just for Burns. I'm saying that's for any player that doesn't have an autograph with their first Bowman. Welcome, or thanks for watching my TED Talk. I'm done now.
I mean, it was pretty educational. I can't lie.
All right. Well, thanks for that. And we are into the second round of extended bidding now. So I'll flip back to the screen. We do have a segment coming back tonight for the first time in probably like a month, which is Who Be Buying by Julian. But before we get into that, we have a brief intermission because this Stroud Kaboom actually did sell. It did not get a bid in the first window. I am a little shocked by that, and that's $17,400. That is a crazy amount of money. So maybe I'm not as shocked as I should be. But at the same time, when you look at Joe Burrow selling for 25 grand, I honestly think that at this point in time, without the injuries and stuff like that, and with the Texans being on the rise and Bengals, maybe losing some players with the high contracts coming to chase and such like that, I thought that'd get closer to what the Burrow sold for. But Julian, without further ado, let's send it into your Who Be Buying segment, and then we will start to cover the extended bidding closes after that.
Okay, we're giving a little taste of Who Be Buying. Nothing too crazy. We got 2 cards.
Okay.
Actually, no. There's potential for a third. I did save another, but
all right.
First one. This is outrageous. We got a Jalen Duren 2022 National Treasures logo man out of 5. Yeah, out of 5. Which I'm not a fan that it's out of 5. It's sold.
How do you spell his name?
Duren.
Oh, okay. I just put an A in there. I was gonna say it should have popped up anyways. Oh gosh, dang it. Sorry, I just totally botched that.
That's okay.
All right. Ooh, wow. What in the world?
Yeah, exactly. I saw this. Okay. The guy he's decent. He's nothing crazy. He's averaging 14 points per game. So like good player out of 5. Now, Aaron, read us the back of the card.
All right. I got to zoom way in here. It says the enclosed officially licensed material is not associated with any specific player, game, or event.
Okay.
That's even worse. It says player.
Yeah. So
normally it doesn't. Go ahead.
It's saying there's like no shot that he's probably even ever touched this. I mean, the guy's like, unless you're like super in NBA, you probably haven't heard of him. But nearly $5,000. I mean, I was just like, am I reading something wrong? Like, did I miss something? Because
So Jalen Duren is definitely one of the young up-and-coming centers in the NBA. 14 points per game, 12 rebounds per game at 20 years old. However, caveat, he's on the Pistons, and number 2, he's a center. Literally, Karl-Anthony Towns has been one of the best offensive centers ever, and his stuff doesn't even pull this much, probably.
Oh, exact. So that's another huge point, is that centers in particular do not bring in very much money. And like for this amount, you could buy such a nice card of a top player. And I was just baffled.
I am also baffled by that.
If you had
sale.
to choose a card that like represents who we buying, it would be this card.
You think this is the top who we buying card we've ever had?
Probably. I mean, I don't know if I can top this. There's been a lot of them, but wow.
Brief sidebar before getting into your next card. Did you see this Brock Purdy card? I'm sure you did. The 1/1 collegiate card.
Yes. No, it was out of 4. You mean the one with the nasty patch?
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't a 1/1. Shoot. Yeah, I do mean the one with the nasty patch. And if you looked at that, I'm not like super sure that this is on actually game issue jerseys. It says original collegiate license product. Maybe it does. Maybe it is. And
I think it might be on the inside.
and that looks like the outside of the tag, honestly, to me. But like that just screams to me like a something you put out when you sell it, you know? And maybe it's not. Maybe he did wear this at some point in time.
I
know, but it's hard to know for sure. And I do wish that there was some more verbiage that goes into these cards a lot of time. And Panini has started to do it with some of the high end cards. Like even when we see them in the Kittle and Purdy example, where like they split up 2 players to comment on it. But either way, moving, I don't want to see her shine. It's just a card that I thought about when he brought up the non-licensed.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean it's a good one. I saw it when it's super sick, but yeah.
Okay.
Suspicious. Next one. Aaron already saw this one a little bit because I texted him about it. Sorry, I was gonna say Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields 2021 Origins, gold out of 10, which was it sold, but quite a puzzling card because once he scrolls to it.
Yeah, I gotta get there.
No pressure.
There it is.
Okay, so number 1, not a big Justin Fields fan. I don't think I have to get into that because I've talked about it multiple times. But number 2 is I'm looking at this patch and I'm like, there's no way this came from his jersey or even a jersey that had Fields on it, because I was looking at it and I'm like, that's an O for sure on the right. On the left, I was like, okay, I don't know exactly what it is, but you know, Aaron knows his stuff. So he said it's probably the rookie nameplate upside down. So it's the O and the K. Which number 1, I was like, if it's not associated or anything, why wouldn't you just put like a patch that says Fields or something like that? But it was probably such a quick turnaround that they just put like rookie on it. But like, I was just like, this is just not a group. In general, like I wouldn't want a card like this because you know it's not associated and it just says it's rookie.
So we'll go back to the marking room picture. I have to say, guys, this has been happening forever with both Topps and Panini and the way that they run their rookie premieres and such like that. They try to get as much material out of the event as possible. So number 80, number 88 is used a lot of time because it's the biggest patches that you can put on a jersey. And then, yeah, they do this pretty quickly after the draft. And don't get me wrong, they could easily spin up some jerseys with the name on them in that amount of time. Julian, I know I pointed that out. That it is a quick turn, which is true. They still could.
It's just like there's ways that they feel like they can get around it.
They even print them, I think, now at the actual draft themselves. They have their names on them. I've seen them like do like a fast thing to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
In the end, this has been happening with both companies at different points in time. Previously with Topps when they did football. But yeah, this is definitely from a rookie nameplate. I can't stand cards like this. I really think that it just diminishes like what this type of card is supposed to be about. In my opinion, don't make this card. You know, like just don't make it. Like, why do we don't need this? I think there's something you can do that's in between. Shoot, I'd rather even have something that's, I don't know, like I think it'd be cool to have like part of the draft paperwork that's in the card. I know they've done that with the Champions League name draw now. They started to do some cards like that, some redemptions like that. But you know, I don't know. It's just not for me, and it is $106, so it's not as crazy, I think, as your Jalen Durham, but still something.
The price isn't crazy, but the funny thing is, the first thing that came to my head, which I wish was true, because I would have gone crazy, is that they took a Mitch Trubisky and put the 10 because like they're like, oh, we got these jerseys at like a Dick's Sporting Goods that we got to do something with. I just kind of want to run with that story, even though it's probably not true.
I think what's funny is that like it actually does look like that, but in the same time, I know that the O's that they use in these jerseys are very tight together to where they can look like zeros. I think that's the more likely situation. I would doubt that
and
they would.
the 10 would be like massive.
Yeah, and I don't think that their numbers would even necessarily look like that. But either way, I think it's funny.
We can do one more. One
Yeah.
that aesthetically very not appealing. There was a LeBron James hoops presentations BGS 9.
People go nuts for these cards, man.
Really? I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't in particularly go nuts. Did it sell? Hit it sell?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny as all these sold in the first window. Okay. Oh, there's so many LeBron cards on there. Sorry to be there, but 1 second. It keeps on resetting every single time I research something. Oh, nice Prism Green sold tonight. Wait, so for $86?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely went about this very poorly. Give me a second. What's it? Hoops or aspirations?
Presentations.
Oh, gosh, I'm just botching this, everyone.
That's okay. No one's watching.
And then it doesn't read my N. There we go.
Okay. This card is just ugly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Apologies for anybody who likes this card or if you bought it, but I just can't, like, why did someone come up with it and say, like, that's fire, let's print that, especially with like the grainy static like type like border. Oh man. Ugh.
So if you gave him a little bit of a bigger beard, I think that this looks a lot like a cartoon character we know. Cartoon animated character we know.
Bigger beard?
Yeah. I don't know if you're gonna get.
I'm not even gonna guess because it would make me look really bad. But
Uncle Aaron, bro,
that's hilarious.
Uncle Aaron, they got the same facial hair there too.
He does.
I actually, when I saw this card, I'm like, bro, this looks like Uncle Aaron when he thinks that, or when he finds out that Miles is, Spider-Man. Yeah. So I actually think for that reason, I kind of find it cool because he's got the purple there too, like Aaron. But hey, I agree. I think that's a very kind of interesting type of card. Weird design, but that's just me. Real Music likes it though, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to offend anybody if you like this card. It's just a personal opinion, but I had to throw in one where I was like, I saw the card and I was just not a fan of how it looked.
Also, they're definitely hitting 200 points to the East in this game, and they're absolutely destroying the West, by the way. It's 192 to 170 right now, and I saw all these tweets before the game. This West team is the best all-star team of all time. I think Dame's for sure going for this MVP right now. Dang, he's bricked. But yeah, pretty interesting card. All right, is that it?
That is it.
Now this, when I talk about adding one-of-ones and stuff like that, this is the one that I'm not really crazy about. Adding the explosive, which is pretty much a kaboom, just called an explosive. It's got the same exact design. I'm not crazy about this one. It's sold for $4,000. To me, this kind of seems like the value that almost the actual kaboom Bryce Young one-of-one should maybe be worth, but dude, I know it'd be
like
more.
Flying cauliflower or something. Like, what the heck is that?
It looks like popcorn. Nah, I think it's like you're like a cartoon, like you're like breaking through like like a wall or whatever like that. But yeah,
I've never seen it look like that. The one on the right looks like a mushroom.
It kind of does. It did sell for what, $4,000 or whatever. Hey, I'm surprised you didn't include.
I had it on my list. I was debating putting it in. But yeah, I love the card. 2017 select, criminally undervalued for obvious reasons. But yeah, a nice card.
And this is a wild one to me. I know at the time Brady craze was high levels up there, but this is the non-auto. To me, the autos matter a lot, even if it is photoshopped, as people say, even if it is not actually a rookie card. I think the autographs, anytime you're talking about an on-card Tom Brady auto, it'll be sought after. But in the end, this one is a non-auto, and at $6,000+ it just seems a little crazy to me. But that's just my personal opinion, obviously.
Well, once again, I'll say I do really like the way that card looks. So the prices, like you mentioned, are a little over the top, but I do like the way that card looks. And I'll throw in there's jogged my memory a little bit. I'm surprised you didn't throw in a Jordan Love card there.
I was thinking about putting in that Optic Contenders. You're saying into the rare ones, the green
Polka or whatever.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool card. I thought.
Yeah, and then the Sabrina I kind of was thinking about. Especially, this is the perfect time to sell this. Whoever, I applaud the seller on this one because Sabrina's all in the news with that 3-point contest. I mean, she's up against Steph Curry, who's the greatest shooter of all time, and she got 26, which tied Damian Lillard for the actual 3-point contest. And I was very impressed, especially when you consider she shoot like the 3-point line for the WNBA is closer to the basket. So,
do you know how close it is? I actually looked it up. How much closer it is?
I don't know.
It's a pretty wide margin. It's 1.8 feet, I think. It's not like 6 inches. 1.8 feet. So
yeah,
like that.
She's automatic.
Yeah.
But dude, sweet looking card. Whoever decided to sell this now is very, very well timed. And a lot of these women's basketball cards are on the come up. I have to give credit to that Caitlin Clark Superfractor because brought a lot of eyes on that aspect of the market, and there's a ton of great players. So yeah, I think I don't know the sales history, but that's a pretty strong sale, I'm assuming.
Yeah. This right here, I was actually gonna bring it up. I wonder like, hey, what would happen if she actually won last night? I think this would be selling for more than it is right now, but and she did amazing, by the way. Like, I think that a lot of people are ragging on Kenny Smith because he was, I don't know if you saw those videos of him and stuff. And
people were saying he was a little under the influence.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. That guy was saying some pocket stuff last night. And I saw this hilarious tweet where it was like when Kenny Smith was in the dunk contest, this was one of his dunks. He literally like, do you see the dunk? No. He like bounced it off the ground and then grabbed the rim to hold it while he grabbed the ball and then put it in. It was so bad. And he was like chirping all these guys.
The amount of memes I've seen from like last night's festivities it's hilarious. So funny. So
East just scored 211 points in this game, and Dame just hit another half-court 3, ended with 39 points. But Tyrese Haliburton went 10 for 14 from 3, and Dame was 11 for 23. But Dame was shooting like half-court shots out there, so I don't know. Oh my gosh, dude, Jokic is so unathletic.
I love Jokic, and the one thing outside of like my Bulls fandom, the one thing I want for the NBA, a Luka and Jokic team up on a team. Dude, I love their chemistry. It's hilarious. And they would just be
they were actually doing some like of that kind of like unathletic stuff together today where it's like they're both going up for these like really like lame lamps and stuff. I think they actually play into it a little bit too, which is fun. But I'm like a little shocked at actually how unathletic he is though. Like, he literally can't even get up to do something that's more than just a rim grazing dunk, which is like kind of my heyday was like I could do a little bit even better than what he's doing probably. Yeah. But okay, as for the Sabrina, it is going to close right now over $2,100, and this card sold for I believe it's $2,000 and $2,000. So I do think that this maybe isn't as much as I was expecting. I thought it could have done upwards of maybe 2.5 with her winning the 3-point thing against Steph. But in the end, I mean, still a great sale because this is either holding value or even gaining a little bit of value from the 2 sales that happened in early 2023. And sometimes buying some of those one-of-ones before grading, even then auctioning, it just doesn't always go amazingly. And I've had some personal experience with that. So I think it's doing actually quite well for the circumstances. And also, as John Wooden's only at 125 right now, I still think that's a great deal for someone who goes in and grabs that. But a great card.
Could you go back up real quick? I want to see that Kuminga.
Yeah.
Dude, this seems crazy to me. Like, I know he's a good player, but like, I don't know. That year, the Crown Royale that year, kabooms. I'm not crazy.
It's so busy. It's so busy.
There's too much going on. I know Kuminga's good, but like, that seems like a lot of money. Like, I'm sure you could buy some like really. I need to compare other Kuminga cards, but I was pretty shocked when I saw this, and it was over $1,000 when I checked.
So I'm shocked by that too. And I heard, I think it was Draymond Green or someone saying that like he's like, oh, Kuminga's now our second option on the team, which I think is like kind of disrespectful to Klay Thompson, even with everything that's happening to Klay Thompson with the, him turning. What do you do? He like turned the ball over at the end of the game and was missing a lot of shots. But Klay came out and hit 36 points the next game off the bench or 35. But like Kuminga had a couple nice games like in January or the last month where he like 26, 29 points. But the last 3 games, he had like 13, 13, 14 points. Like he's a nice player, don't get me wrong. But at the same time,
exactly.
like I hear what Julian's saying. Like if you're spending $1,500 on a Kaboom where it wasn't like really like
NT.
yeah. Can you buy an NTRPA for that?
There's a 1 out of 75 that sold for 1,400.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about like the 75s, but at the same time, it is like, yo, like that's still a on-card auto. You can find the Kabooms in pretty solid rate. I feel like for some of those years. I need to see who wins this MVP. I'd be shocked if they didn't give it to Tyrese, but with him being at home.
RPA out of 5 did 1625. Now, if only Dame could play like that for the Bucks.
I think that he would. Okay, so have you heard about like second half Dame?
Joking.
No, have you? No, I'm serious. He has been bad to start this year. Have you heard about second half Dame though?
No. In the few games I've watched though, but I haven't watched really much since Doc took over, but he wasn't ever really getting the ball in the fourth quarter when I was watching.
I think that's a problem is that when he was at his best this year, he was dominating the fourth quarters. Like where oh, this is so funny. Giannis's kids are on the court.
Giannis cracks me up.
I know
he put on Shaq's jacket last night. I don't know.
That was so funny. I saw him take the jacket from him. All right, I'm trying to find some important stats here. Here we go. Sorry, give me 1 second. I think it was like what? Why can't I? Last year he scored 35 points per game after the All-Star break, though. Like that's insane numbers.
Yeah.
So that we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna score 35 points a game this year, given that obviously it's not just his team, but there is something to be said for when Dame's at his best. He's the ball dominant player, and Giannis has also been the ball dominant player for all these years now with the Bucks. So it is kind of a struggle right now, I think, because of that. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah. And my question is, I'm no NBA coach, but I feel like one of the most unstoppable like plays in the league is just a Dame Giannis pick and roll, pick and pop. Like what are you supposed to do there? The guy tries to follow Dame. He either takes the shot or he drives. If they switch, you got a mismatch with Giannis.
And I think what's even more impressive is when you consider that you have one of the highest percentage 3-point shooters in the league with Malik Beasley on spot up threes. And
I don't understand.
I think that we'll see a big change after the All-Star break with the Bucks. I think that this was a very tough. Oh, nice. Dame won. They're booing they're booing so badly there.
Over Tyrese?
Yeah.
And it's in Indiana.
Dude, yeah, but he did score 39 points and he hit like multiple half-court shots. But still, Tyrese hit 10 threes. I mean, Dame had 11, but he did shoot a few more.
Yeah, that's rigged.
They're booing him like crazy.
With it being in Indiana, they had to have known that was going to happen.
Okay, but at the same time, it's like you can't just give it to him because it's in Indiana.
But it was that close where like you should.
Yeah, it was close, and he had a way better percentage. So like I understand. I get it why he probably should have gotten it.
Yeah, got to give it to our Wisconsin guy.
Wait. he was just like, I get it. He's like, I'm in his hometown. That's awesome, though. I'm glad him and Giannis both have an All-Star Game MVP to his name, or to their names, big time. All right,
Dame's walking away with two trophies.
He is back-to-back for the first time since 2007 in the 3-point contest too, which is I didn't even know who that guy was actually, who won it back. Dude, I'll tell you.
It's a little before my time, but
here we go. Jason Capono. I've heard his name, I think maybe once or twice, but like, what has Jason Capono done? I have no idea. I'm not saying
it sounds like a mobster.
You're thinking like Al Capone or something. Cristiano Ronaldo, though, that thing's pushing over $4,000 right now, which is more than I was expecting, Julian.
Definitely.
And I think it's an amazing card. Those 2007 selects are actually some of the best soccer
17.
cards. I think, did I say, what did I say?
2007.
Oh, 2000. I'm still thinking about Capono. 2017 Ronaldo gold auto sold for like $12,000 back in 2021, but that was 2021. So I still feel like given what we've seen happen with this market, where like that immaculate boot 1-of-1 sold for like a really cheap amount, like this does feel like a pretty good sale right here.
Strong sale.
And right next to you have a Pele, PSA 2.5 rookie, which I'm not like super well versed in the vintage sales. So an interesting one, but also a Mike Trout, which is considered as rookie patch autograph. But let's remember, Mike Trout was a rookie in 2011. So to me, not as special, but that's just my opinion. There's also Ronaldo PSA 6 rookie. You got the Pikachu, the Pikachu costume cards, which is basically where they got the stitching costume cards from for the Disney Chrome set. And this is at $2,000, the Gyarados costume. There's speaking of, did you track the Disney sales tonight?
Yeah, no, I just did the Oswald Rabbit sold for one.
Did you get it?
No.
Okay, I was wondering if you're gonna go for it. It's probably about like a $60-$70 raw card.
Yeah.
The Oswald doesn't sell that well just because there's not that many people know who he is and stuff. And I know he was the first Disney character, but at the same time, it's like how many of us actually watched a cartoon with Oswald? Probably not many of us. Unless you were, a fan of the older cartoons.
That card's hilarious, though, even though it's not the.
Oh, I know it. I was wondering if you saw it because I do think that card is super funny. It's from the Weisschwarz set, but yeah, I think it's a hilarious Stitch card. I think you got the Down purple PSA 10 right there. There's a Gaston.
There's a self-portrait of me.
The Gaston. Have you ever seen Beauty and the Beast?
No.
I was gonna say you might.
He's probably not a good guy, is he?
No, he's like the villain in there, but basically he's just like this super cocky guy, and he's got like this sidekick that just hypes him up like everywhere they go and stuff like that. So I actually kind of find it funny you refer to him yourself as him. This is an impressive sale though. A Tomato Refractor PSA 10 at $75 for a non-numbered card. I mean, honestly, it kind of is a shocking sale given that the Down did 77 for the purple. I would think that the Down would sell for way more. And I do have some updates for some cards I won personally in a second here, which I'm very happy about. There were some pink sets sold as well, so a Blue Wade Ripple, but these two I was eyeing all day today. Julian will claim he saw them first before me, which is true. He did see them, but I pointed out to him.
I'm very jealous about this. I don't even want to know how much you picked.
So excited about this. I know that Formula One cards have been on a decline a lot recently, and these probably have declined a lot since last season, but I still feel like I got a pretty awesome deal here. I got the red Monza PSA 9 for $870, and I got the United States GP Red I-5 PSA 10 for $504, which I think matches the raw sale from last October. So once again, I understand that F1 is a little bit on the decline. However, I will point out that this is the first year that they ever did these Art du Grand Prix inserts, where it features a historic track, which Monza is one of the most historic tracks of all time. And then the USGP, I think, just means a lot because this is the longest run United States currently Grand Prix, with Miami and Vegas being new entrants. So that's a sweet one. And remember, there's only 5 of these in each year's set. And these are red I-5. There's only 25. Got 2 of the 25 now. Between
how does he keep getting away with this?
So I'm extremely excited about.
You got to go for all the reds now. It's just you have to. It's so
if I can find them, I will. I'll actually save searches everywhere for them because I do think that'd be such an awesome set. I also want to point out that I just a Formula One take in general. While I know a lot of people have stopped watching because of the lack of competition with Verstappen and Red Bull, I think that this year we might see not the competition that we all want to see as fans, but I think by 2025. With Lewis at Ferrari, with Lando and Oscar being older and McLaren developing further, I think we could see a 3-headed race between Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari, which would be a great season. And I'm not saying these cards will just magically like 3 times in value just because, but these are kind of cards that aren't exactly tied to anything more than just Formula One as a popular sport. It's not tied to a specific driver. We know that Monza will be around for just about forever. We pretty much know that the USGP in Austin will be around for forever, since why would they ever stop that with the amount of fans now? And I think they're just awesome cards that have got a piece of F1 history that's not just, oh, is it 2020 Chrome? Is it 2020 Dynasty? I love these cards. I've been a huge fan of them since the start. I finally had my first ones, and I'll take the Reds I-5 combined for under $1,500. Pretty awesome set, in my opinion. And then we have got the giveaway here, which actually is modeled after the older Gala cards. This is the PSA 9 Evan Mobley here we got for $15, but I'm going to give it away tonight. I think he's been injured for a lot of this season. This is actually from Chronicles Draft 2, which is probably why it's not a more expensive card. But I still think they're really cool looking cards and thought it'd be a fun one to give away. So I snagged that on giveaway for someone here tonight, which we'll start here pretty soon as we're shockingly already almost at 10 p.m. We think we've been doing so much talking. And if anyone has any thoughts on tonight's episode, please let us know. I feel like we've been taking up all the airwaves here. I know that Cody was dropping some comments, but we've just been going back and forth here.
But if anyone wants to comment, we can also talk about that. But there was a card that I was watching that potentially I was going to buy as a flyer. There was a Damian Pierce Midnight National Treasures out of 20.
Saw it.
Super sweet card. I love these Midnights. And I was like, this is just dirt cheap. Like, I know he had a pretty bad season, but you never know with these guys. Like, if he had even like a little bit of hype or like a good game next season, this card will jump. So I was considering it.
As I say, it could go from $100 to $200 in about half a second.
Yeah.
He is only 24 years old, and I think did he get hurt this year?
He got hurt, yeah. But also he got hurt, and then Devin Singletary just was doing really well, so he kind of took the lead back position. I had Damian Pierce in my fantasy team his rookie season, and he was doing crazy stuff. But $93 for a midnight. I was very close. I probably should have done it, but
it is pretty cheap. All right, so we've got how many cards? There's probably still a decent chunk of cards ending tonight as we do approach. Now we're at the 1 minute window, so good luck everyone from here on out. Hope you. Oh wow, that De Bruyne is. I know that obviously 2017 Chrome is a huge sought after set. We know that first ever Topps Chrome Soccer and stuff like that from a Champions League perspective. Gold 50 is at 625, and as we know, City is a much different animal with De Bruyne at the helm versus him out. Although Chelsea still gets the draw this weekend, which I love to see. But yeah, what a huge card right there! It's over $700. I feel like that is still a pretty high sale though overall.
Definitely.
Hector says negative take. Hard for me to follow F1 if cars and not drivers decide most races. That's fair enough, to say, but I think that there will be a time where we do see more of the even playing field, although it hasn't been these last 2 years. Remember, we were still only 3 years removed from one of the best 1v1 battles we've seen, at least in recent memory, happening in F1 with Lewis versus Max in 2021. That was a year of who was better that given day and who doesn't make mistakes. And I think that's peak F1 from a viewership perspective is, Can any group of 6 drivers win a race on a day? And I think that if we can get to that, I think that, it'll kind of switch everyone's perspective. But I can't disagree with people who kind of fell out of the sport because of it. Who wants to watch the same team win every weekend other than one guy, Carlos Sainz, who got a win last year because I think Max started in 15th position that week or something like that,
Yeah. And I mean, I would say I agree as well. It's a fair take, but as much as I don't like Max, you have to admit he's just a fantastic driver. I think he would be still extremely dominant if he was in like a Ferrari or Mercedes, even a McLaren. But the car, it's just different compared to like the past couple of years because he's just so far ahead that you can't say like it's only him. So I'm hoping it's a little bit more competitive. But that's why I was watching the races for the mid pack of the group because
I agree.
At that point, it's like the cars are so similar that you can see the better drivers. Like Alex Albon, fantastic driver in a Williams.
Yeah, I agree. And it is, and for people who actually do really enjoy F1, that is kind of like the prime of the races now, which is sad to say, but at the same time, it's like you kind of got to find something to find competition and to at least find it exciting. And I kind of knew every single race I was going into that Max was going to win, but it's still fun for me to watch. And hey, I guess I was right. Over $2,000 on the Chris Evans. It's actually the most expensive card that is remaining in the auction. Rarity does that. I'm telling you, if people realize that a card is rare and it doesn't pop up very often, and it hits auction, it can do some crazy things. And I think that this still has a chance to get to 3K. Everyone, I did not start the comments for giveaways, but since people are starting to put ones, if you already dropped the number 1, you got to re-put the number 1. You got to get underneath that line.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah, so Jay started a while ago, but Jay, Silky Mitt, Peg Junk, please re-comment your number 1s underneath that line, and we'll make sure you can get into the giveaway if you do that. We'll leave this open until 10:05 Central Time, so make sure to race those number ones into the chat. I don't think there's too many cards that are left remaining in this auction. I have to give the page a refresh here, but this should be ending pretty soon here, everyone. I hope everyone's had a fun time tonight. Looks like we had a decent amount of viewers, but I guess maybe everyone class was in session with the rare card discussion because there wasn't too many comments throughout the show. But I had a great time tonight. I think it was fun looking at these cards from maybe a little bit different perspective, and I was pretty locked in trying to win these Formula One reds over here. I was actually shocked that the US GP one ended as early as it did. But yeah, that one's at 2,200 right now with not even buyer's premium added in. I mean, that is good. I think that hits $3,000, maybe even more.
Yeah, Aaron,
to me,
I have a really weird feeling. I feel you're gonna guess the correct name today. I
Why?
don't know. I just have a weird feeling.
Oh, because you think I'm on a roll right now because I've had good cards for my thing. I won the USGPs.
No, hey, don't flatter yourself. I just do. It's a random weird feeling.
Okay, it's not because I'm absolutely dominating this episode.
It's
Okay.
Random.
Just give me a hard time. Birder's Backyard is back, and I feel like ever since we bought those bird cards, Birder's Backyard popped up.
Yeah,
pretty funny. But we are pretty close. Only 24 items left in the auction. I'm going to start to get these giveaway entrants picked up here. It is for the Evan Mobley card. When was the last time he played? I think he actually might be back now. He has he is back. He had some pretty huge game recently, but the Cavs have had his first game back, or one of his first games back, he had 28 points, 10 rebounds, 3 for 3 from 3. His stuff has dropped a lot with injury, so kind of interesting name to watch out for. Spud Webb's 360 dunk was sick. I agree. Spud Webb, what a great dunker.
he was also like very short.
He is tiny. Yeah. All right, man. I think we're down to under 24 items left now, Julian. What car are you picking here to go the distance?
Go with the Anakin Solo.
All right, I'm taking the signed Mewtwo. The signed Mewtwo here. Where's the Anakin Solo? What are you talking about?
115.
Oh. From 1996 Topps Finest. Wow. Really wild card there.
I don't know why
7 refractor 10.
Solo though.
I don't.
What does the back say? Who's Anakin Solo? Did they just combine the names?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused too. Youngest child of Han Solo. Wait.
Huh?
Well, I guess that technically.
Because I know there's Ben Solo, who's like the big bad. Wait, they never met. Okay, so they must have just absolutely cut this from like.
I'm kind of confused right now, I guess, in general. I don't really understand. I'm not all up on the Star Wars like I'm sure some people are.
I'm not like huge in Star Wars, but I know the characters. I thought, and I kind of assumed it was just like it was Anakin and like Han Solo both in the same card or something, but they talked about Ben Solo, and I would have thought they would have mentioned another brother if they were around in that universe, but It's in books before Disney bought and wiped the expanded universe. Okay, I kind of assumed that was probably like just rewritten, but that's kind of sick. They should have included that.
So I think that I don't really understand. Honestly, my brain can't process that right now because like Anakin Skywalker was Luke's dad. So yeah, that wouldn't really make any sense. That's like, oh, I guess that's like a Anakin's grandkid then, or no?
Yeah, it is his grandkid because Leia is his daughter. Yep.
But how is that? It said that that's Leia and Han Solo's
kid.
Okay.
So it's
wasn't. Oh, because Luke is Leia's brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This makes sense now. Got it. Yeah, I never heard of that before. I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, I never read any of the
winning card right there.
It is cool, man. It's cool, no doubt about that. It's also interesting because I do feel like it's one that not many would actually understand, so like I didn't understand that in the slightest, obviously. And then but you find that like group of people who do understand it. That's probably like a really cool card to them, knowing like that it's like a very like kind of like rare thing that maybe not many people understand. So it's sought after.
Yeah.
All right. I'm pulling up the giveaway thing right now. Okay, but our cards are still going here. What are we looking at here?
You got a bet I do not.
Ooh, let's see if you get Elim'd here.
No, look at how sick that is. Anakin Solo. Someone wants that.
The highest selling card in this auction was the Bill Russell for 25 grand. That is a very sought after and high end card right there.
Wow.
Number pieces from 2004, number 6. Awesome card.
No.
Julian's cooked.
Oh no.
I'm still on the way there. Okay, we'll do this giveaway now. So sorry, Julian, you already got knocked out. Cool card.
That
All right, here we go. 3 times. 3 times on the randomization for an Evan Mobley card. 1, 2. I got this. Eric D. Eric D's winning.
I'm gonna go with Rohit 14.
Dang.
God, I saw that and I'm like, Real Music has got a lot recently, so I feel like
that's what I thought too. I guess it doesn't matter. Every single instance is mutual of itself. So
I guess my gut feeling is I'm hungry. That must have been what it was.
Yeah, there you go. Real Music. Congratulations, Real Music. Info@slabsex.com for your Evan Mobley. And let's see if I can clutch up with this Mewtwo here.
This Elizabeth and Margaret card has been around for quite a bit.
Real Music with the declaration after he gets the dub. I'm the GOAT. Yeah, you definitely willed your way to winning that. Oh, there's only 4 cards left. Oh, wait, no, there's not. There's a few more in that. That's 3? And how in 2024? I mean, I would be shocked. I feel like we're reading off your name all the time. Maybe I should just pick Real Music every single. You know what?
No, don't do that because then he's never going to win again.
I should probably start to pick the same person every single week because eventually that person will win. Because I feel like that maybe there are some.
It only took him 100. What is this? 109 episodes.
Tom says there was something like 150 plus Star Wars novels before Disney bought and is cherry picking what they want and rewriting the rest. I had a huge. That's a too big of a word for me. Huge
compendium.
There you go, compendium on the timeline because it was super deep with all the yeah, it's late. it was super deep with all the books.
Now, Tom, I have a question for you. Do you like how they've written the stuff, like what they've selected out?
But I'm cooked also. I feel like that the reviews recently would be that the TV shows have been pretty solid, but the movies obviously were trash, the newer ones.
I need to catch up on my Star Wars TV shows. I watched.
I haven't seen.
I was up to date with everything until like season 2 of The Mandalorian, but since then I haven't. I watched the Book of Jango Fett. I haven't watched Ahsoka, but I also didn't watch. Like I was a big Clone Wars fan. Like when I was a kid,
yeah, like the actual like the cart or animated
show. The animated show. But I never watched. What was it? The one with Ezra. Why am I Rebels? I never watched Rebels, which was like plays into Ahsoka. So now everything's like you have to watch other stuff, and that's where I get stuck because I'm like I don't want to watch all this stuff, but I need to get back into it.
I stopped at episode here. The shows are worth it.
Clone Wars animated was goated.
Yeah, I heard that was just like super good TV series. All right, there's only a few cards left here. Pokemon Charizard, a Walt Disney authentic card from 1940, anime card, and then one of these Elizabeth and Margaret cards, which I feel like you're right. We've seen like a million of these recently. Oh, nice one. SCP-7 got the 2015 Prism Dash Schroeder Gold Op today. I did see that any gold prism from those 2016, 2017, and previous were nice. Even them now are nice too, but there's just so many gold different variations out now. It kind of makes it all feel not as cool. But either way, that's pretty much going to be it for tonight's episode, everyone. Bill Russell is your top seller tonight, which is a really sick card right there. I'm sure that's game 1, given its Upper Deck. I think Cody pointed out earlier that Upper Deck did it right with patches. You've got the CJ Stroud at 17.4. Chet card selling for a ton of money again, and some other vintage cards doing some huge numbers, and Brock Purdy getting them up there as well. That gold auto at 8,000.
Craving cards. I've won 3 total in these years. Zion, Trout, and Soccer Bundle. Been a while, but always a blast.
Craven, good to see you tonight. I hope you had a fun time. I hope everyone had a fun time and had a good episode here. I'm really excited about the red Formula One wins, and I might have to try to do the set, as Julian said. Only 3 more. Depending on how they pop up, it could get pricey because they rarely actually ever hit auction. Maybe only a couple times now. So we'll see. Maybe I'll take my time with this and don't have to rush it like I have done with some other things. Maybe it'll be a fun project to look out for at card shows too. So if anyone sees I will refresh everyone once again. If anyone sees any of these at a show, specifically the ones that are not the jumbo box toppers, but I don't think that they make red waves in the jumbo box toppers. It's the red out of 5. If you see these from 2022 tops from F1A card shows, let me know. I believe that the other ones are the Barcelona Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix, which is Silverstone, and then the 5th one is evading me right now, but I can figure out really quick. It is the Zandvoort. I should have known that. Zandvoort from the Netherlands. That's the one I should have. I went to that race. So, but a fun time all around, and congrats to on SCP on the Jean Bivalou. I probably butchered that name. I want to give it a shot because I knew that SCP would get some amusement out of that. So thank you, Craven. Thank you, Tom, for being here. Real Music, congrats on your giveaway. Julian, thanks for being here as well. Hope you had a fun episode.
I did. Thank you, Aaron.
Of course, and hope everyone else did too. See you all in the next week, Sunday, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time.